essentially, I mean, we've just been, having, major impulse here, a normal correction, next impulse correction. And essentially, I mean, we're gearing up for the next leg higher right here, right? So for Bitcoin alone, just for everybody watching, I do anticipate seeing 100K by Turkey Day, right?
Let's go.
Dude, 100K by Turkey Day, bro. That is epic, bro.
100K by Turkey Day, and then 250K by December. Now, in between there is going to be a lot of, it's going to be a huge emotional roller coaster, right? Like, so.
Oh, you think?
And one thing I wanted to mention, or I mentioned a couple times in my live stream recently is like, if you get shaky, this is the daily time frame, by the way, so that's why this just looks super simple. I'll clean it up so we can see all the madness we've been going through the last few days. We basically had this huge whipsaw today, which is just a straight up, if everybody can see, I'm sure everybody knows, you might not have even noticed this today if you didn't pay attention for maybe 2 hours, right? Because this was just basically 61K straight down to 57, straight up to 63, and then it kind of mellowed back out. You might not have even realized we had that today, right?
Is that a big wick, Paul? I can't. It's a little bit blurry on my end. Is that a huge wick? I thought I saw that earlier. I wasn't positive though.
Oh yeah. We were living this live earlier today, right?
Liquidations.
So yeah, man. It was just, like I said, just a sheer whipsaw. This was an easy, and it was within like an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hold on. Let me stop you real quick. What is, for the people that are new to TA, what is a wick saw?
I guess we could call it the wick saw, but a whip saw pattern is just, it's just this.
I thought you said a wick saw. You said a whip saw.
Whip saw, yeah. Like when the whip saw, it just like comes up and back, right? So, where we just see like immediate, straight up and straight down price action. They just liquidate over leverage trade. This time frame right now is just to, this is to chop up all the leverage traders for one, and then there's to shake out people like throughout the day, right? Because anybody that like was watching this, if you didn't have, an idea that, where the next levels would be or whatever, people were panicking, right? Thinking that, we were going down. I can't remember, some kind of news came out. I don't remember what it was, but it was somebody started circulating and everybody got really worried. But at the end of the day, like I said, it was like an hour. This is the hourly chart. So in 1 hour, this, dropped to 57, went to 62, and then kind of settled back down. So nothing really to worry about. It's just an interesting day in the market, right?
You have any thoughts on what maybe I mean, that's pure manipulation when you see that, right?
Yeah, there's some talk that there was like a pump group, not a pump group, but like a whale group, which whatever. I mean, I didn't see it, but in general, I mean, this is just normal. It is what it is, right? This is just being in the market. So if you were just in spot trades and you didn't have stop losses, if you're just holding for whatever, you would have been fine, right? Like I said, most people wouldn't have even seen this today if you had stop losses in play, if you had leverage trades. That's where this would have came into become an issue, and especially if you took leverage longs towards right when we broke the all-time high and stuff like that, because this is like right at the nitty-gritty, because this makes this entire move here, because it did drop a little bit lower, so this is almost a 15% pullback now, all in all, from 67K. But all in all, everything's good, right? So I mean, a lot of people you can.
So CVO, so we got somebody in the chat, right?
Yeah.
They're new to TA apparently. So can you explain to them this formation that you have, this this wedge, this channel that you have Bitcoin bouncing in? Because he says it looks like it's going down to me. Explain to them why this is a bullish pattern for Bitcoin.
So all in all, you have these formations here, which this is a downtrend right here. So this is actually called pretty much known as a bull flag, right? So you get a flagpole, which is basically this impulse higher, and then you get some downward consolidation, right? People take profits, think this and that, right? And then this allows for all the indicators and everything to reset, and essentially this could continue lower. These come into retracement levels, certain percentages. Like we could pull up a fib here, Fibonacci retracement. So this would show like certain levels of support below this. And then essentially these break to the upside 68% of the time, right? It's a continuation pattern. And then vice versa, right? You actually have when you have parabolic moves like this, This would actually be looked at as, you know, a rising channel. You know, I'm just putting as an example here, right? So, you know, this would be looked at as a rising channel here, right? And then these tend to break to the downside 68% of the time, right? So then we kind of just move from pattern to pattern. So as you see here, you had a bullish pattern. Even though it's going down, it's going to break higher. And then you come into this bearish pattern essentially as we're actually going high. And it would just kind of switch from pattern to pattern to pattern to pattern overall. But this is the one that we're in right now is exactly what you want to see. And I'll show you a couple of things why this, you know, is actually a good place to be right now. One way to measure actually how, you know, what this is going to look like is you tend to measure the flag pole, right, of this bull flag right here. So a lot of people are kind of analyzing this right now and putting this out there. And then you put this around where we could possibly break out, whatever. And it's not like, you know, spot on, but it generally gives you an idea of where the target would be, right? So this would actually be upwards of about $80,000 would be the next high of here. And other, you know, with TA specifically, it's not a crystal ball by any means, right? It's just like that's one indication of, okay, we possibly will see a move higher soon. And then you kind of like stack indicators and other ideas.
4,400 ETH.
Is it 44?
That's what we're being told in the chat. That's what I'm going to check. Keep going. I don't want to stop you. Keep going.
I was going to say we might have to switch over to that, but yeah, all in all, this is a good thing right here, right? So one thing I did want to show is that, you know, we do have like technical targets that come into play too with Fibonacci extensions and all. And I'm going to go actually back here and kind of show you something pretty interesting, right? So if we take the high right here of what was this, June 15th, and you pull it down to the low and you kind of cruise over here, you see that these levels right here, these are, you know, as we're coming down, these are levels. 0.382 is like a 38% retrace, 23, you know, and so on and forth. These are percentages right here. Up top here, you actually branch into targets as you move forward, right? So if we're coming back here, you would actually have a target base ahead of that, and that's what starts right here. And you can see where we had the high here and the low here, and it actually nails the top of this move about 53K right here at the 2. And between this 1.618 and this 2 is generally where most targets are, you know, set for. So in a parabolic rise, we tend to see this 2.272 get hit. But this 2 is very interesting, and I'll show you what I mean by that right now. So this 2 is the target for this swing right here. And if we take that off right there and do it again from the 53 high, we come down to the low we had a few weeks back. You cruise over. Once again, 2 comes right into play, 67K. You know, it was a little bit of a blow off top, so to speak, whatever. So we might not be completely done with this retrace right here. I think that we are, however, because we came into a pretty serious level of support that I've been waiting on, and it's known as the daily 21 EMA. And we'll get into that here in a minute, but I just want to show that the next target of this would be, right, we were just looking at 80K, right, for that flagpole. And if you take the high, and let's just say this is the low where we're at right now, this 2 comes in right at about 76K, and then the 2.272 would be $79,000. So that would be right on, you know, par for the next kind of highs to come. However, you know, you're still going to see this along the way, right? Even before we got to the actual high, you get to a target, you know, a level right here, and you get a retrace, and a level right there, and you get a retrace. So more than likely, we'll hit this 1272 about 69K, right? If we
you know, I just recognized something, Paul. I just learned something. I always learn something when I'm doing TA because it's the weakest point of my crypto game, right? I was always under the impression that on a bull flag, you basically had just 1, maybe 2 really large volume bars, like maybe on the daily or whatever, and then shooting off from there. What you just showed was multiple days with up, down action, up, down action, up, down action. I thought it was only like 1, maybe 2 huge wicks and then coming back down. It can be a whole pattern over a month or whatever is what you're saying then.
Yeah, I mean, you can have these on any time. I mean, what you're talking about is when you more so see it on the small, like an hour or a half hour. It does tend to just look like one flat, you know, one, like you look to the Shiba chart right now. I'm sure that's what it looks like, right? Like just one sheer volume straight up, and then consolidation to the side. But yeah, I mean, so that's, you know, that's a quick overview of where I'm looking at Bitcoin to kind of head here. And to answer that other person's question, I mean, yes, technically we're still in a downtrend, right, until we break out of this level. But generally, we're getting pretty close to that. We're hitting key levels of support, below us. And we've also had a 10-15% pullback, which is all I've been expecting anyways at this point in the bull run, as we're in a totally different situation right now than a normal piece of the run, right? And we're in the final stage, the blow off top, the Q4, whatever everybody wants to call it. And regardless of what you want to think about it, you can tell the writing is on the wall right now about how all the hype is coming in. You're getting Coinbase is once again the top app, right? You're taking over. You got everybody piling into Shiba at 10x, 10x on the month, and people are still buying it up. So you can tell that the hype is here. So I just want to pull up
those are definitely big signs of massive hype and FOMO. People jumping back into the crypto space when you see all this Shiba frenzy, right? Just eating up all the Shiba, no matter chasing green candles day after day, thinking they're gonna get rich overnight.